What's going on, everybody? It's Nick with Facemask Fantasy. Wanted to talk today about one of the under-the-radar signings that recently happened. Not everything is a blockbuster, but when it comes to fantasy football, makes sense to cover every little tidbit that we can. So let's get into it. Former Bengals wide receiver Auden Tate is signing a one-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. The deal is worth $1.12 million per Pro Football Network's Aaron Wilson. Tate joins probably the thinnest wide receiver core in the league in Atlanta, previously headlined by Olamide Zaccheaus, Kadero Hodge, and Frank Darby. Gone from Atlanta are Matt Ryan and Calvin Ridley, the former in a trade to Indianapolis, and the latter to a season-long suspension. In at quarterback is Marcus Mariota, and outside of second-year tight end Kyle Pitts, there's very little to get excited about for this Falcons passing attack. So with that said, who is Auden Tate, and what can we possibly expect from him? Tate is a former 7th-round pick out of Florida State and is still just 25 years old. He played sparingly with the Bengals, totaling 33 games over 4 seasons. His sophomore season was by far the most productive of his career. He saw 81 targets, catching 40 passes for 575 yards and a touchdown in 12 games. However, that season was cut short in December due to injury. In 2020 and 2021, it was a combination of a numbers crunch and an offense going through a makeover. Out was longtime starter Andy Dalton, and in was Joe Burrow, whose own rookie season was cut short when he tore his ACL and MCL in Week 11 of the 2020 season. Between the emergence of players like Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, and then eventually Jamar Chase in 2021, Tate just consistently found himself behind other players and fell out of the rotation in Cincinnati. He also missed some time due to COVID in 2020, but then again, who didn't miss time due to COVID? Now Tate gets a new opportunity in a Falcons offense that will be looking for literally anyone to step up for them. Atlanta currently has the second most vacated targets in the league, which means it's an absolutely wide open competition for production in an offense that could be playing from behind a lot in 2022. While we can't automatically assume Tate steps in as a starter for this team, there's not much of an argument for anyone else on the current roster either. Atlanta figures to draft at least one receiver in 2022, but Tate won't be facing the depth chart logjam Cincinnati had. And while the workout metrics aren't spectacular, he's 6'5" and 228 pounds with an above-average speed score according to Player Profiler. Tate's not elite at any one thing, but he has the size and good enough speed to be a reliable possession receiver. He had 81 targets in an average offense in 2019. With so much available work, he could absolutely flirt with over 90 targets if he's able to lock down one of the outside receiver positions. And again, the competition is as wide open as Tate has been a part of since he was drafted. Tate finished his best season as the wide receiver 66 for fantasy purposes. That obviously doesn't jump off the page, but with a redraft ADP outside of the top 200, there are worse flyers to take. Tate should be viewed as a sneaky wide receiver 5 with plenty of potential to emerge as a streamer or bye-week fill-in in plus matchups. It might not be pretty in Atlanta this year, but garbage time counts for fantasy just as much as any other time in the game, and Tate should see plenty of that if the Falcons' 2022 season ends up going the way of the tank for the top quarterback prospect in 2023. Keep him in the back of your mind when you're considering streamers this year, and maybe even as soon as your draft, depending on the size of the draft. Tate could provide some sneaky depth for your wide receiver core. That's a quick breakdown of the Auden Tate signing with Atlanta. What do you guys think? Put any thoughts you have in the comment section below if you have any, and we can have a conversation about this. We also host live streams on our channel each Tuesday and Thursday, all off-season long, at 6 p.m. Eastern. Come hang out, come get any questions answered you may have, or any other general fantasy topics you'd like to discuss. Till then, this is Nick with Facemask Fantasy. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.